Speakers on. There we go. Whereas the town of Berry is proposing the construction of a 250,000 gallon elevated water storage tank and appurtenances near Pine Hill Road and Pask Road in the town of Berry to address system deficiencies. Proposed action at a cost of $5,244,850. And whereas the proposed action includes all related site work, grading, driveways, and appurtenances, and a new pump to be constructed next to the existing tank to transfer water and upgrades to the existing pump station and tank. And whereas the town board of the town of Berry classified the proposed action as a type 1 action, and now therefore the town board of the town of Berry hereby resolves to hold a public hearing on December 10th, 2025 at 6:45 at the Berry Town Hall for the proposed action by order of the town board, Maureen Beach, town clerk. Therefore, we are now open at this time for the public hearing on the proposed water tower. Questions? We have here Jason Foote, who is the engineer in charge for the project, who will be glad to answer any questions anybody may have on the proposed water tank. It's an elevated water tank, like the one we have existing at this time behind the fire hall.
The tank is currently behind the fire hall. Just to get a size, 150,000 gallons. A little bigger than that.
Oh, same shape, or more like the onion.
We can look at that. The most economical tank is the Pedisphere style, like all that has. We can look at the lake tank. If there's more painting about more, we're gonna have more surface area and more.
It's in the location of that tank. Where it is.
So, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, for the application to be submitted for WIA, WQA, we needed to select a site. We haven't had any conversations with any property owners. There are multiple sites that we could utilize. We have a range and elevation that we kind of really have to be in. But in order to submit the application for funding, we needed a complete seeker, so we needed to just identify a site. So once we get funded and we move forward, we can open up conversations with property owners. We have a bunch of different options. We'll have to reopen seeker because the property that is a different property, we'll have to just go through the environmental review. So I know this has been brought up before, but the property that we selected is really just a placeholder for now, just for funding, and we'll have to amend seeker later on if we decided. Got lots of that in the front yard.
No, I was just curious why you couldn't do it on what the Berry already owns. Is there not enough room there?
It has to do with the elevation. So it's 50 feet, needs to be 50 feet higher. So we don't want to put a 200-foot tall tank up. That'd be really expensive. So get some redundancies, separate tanks a little bit.
Do we still own over where the old dump was?
Yes.
That area that could, or is it too close to the road?
Pine Hill Road.
On Pine Hill Road, the old dump is very unstable because of debris that's been put in there.
It's the property that Scott's talking.
Oh, I think, yeah, I think he was talking about,
No, I was.
yeah, he was talking about over here.
I thought you meant over here.
No,
Yeah.
Pine
No,
Hill,
I
that's what I
meant-
thought.
we
That's why I brought it up.
Oh, I think
Across from my grandma's old
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to look at the elevation. I don't know what it is on hand, but we have to count the ground elevation just so the tank's not.
You don't have to look at it like,
I'm sorry, I thought
it is an old dump, so it is probably unstable.
But we have flexibility on where it can go.
What about setback from the road?
So I suppose you could argue the town would be subject to their own setbacks, so you could set it wherever you want. I would think you'd rather be reasonable. I'm not expecting it to tip over, but, we would need to look at that as far as if you had actually decided on a particular site, you'd have to open up seeker, redo the environmental review, look at that. Um, look at the height of it, how it's gonna be compared to the trees, all of that stuff. But as far as the setback goes, you would just have to look at whatever's in the town code, but again, you could write yourself variance if you side setback issues or something. But again, at this stage, it's real, a lot of stuff up in the air, so to speak, without a
Right.
definitive site.
Is the height 150 feet again?
Yeah,
So
so
this one's 120.
150, yeah, 140.
150 plus a higher elevation.
That's at that elevation, so
So then, in other words, it would be a shorter elevated tank.
This is 120.
That's 120.
Yes. He's talking this one.
So if you do a 120 up there as well, it would put it,
220.
we have to look and see what the ground elevation is because we're trying to achieve a certain hydraulic grade.
yes,
So the overflow of the tank over here, the fire hall, is 810. We're trying to get to 860, so we need the top of our tank to be at 860.
okay.
So wherever we can find property, we have to adjust the height of the tank. We would kind of assume the 150-foot tall tank.
Okay.
So yes, if you get a higher ground, we can have a shorter tank. Vice versa.
If you found it high enough ground, what's the lowest you can put that tank?
I mean, if you had a giant hill there, you could put a ground level tank in.
Can you?
Quite honestly, yeah, that would be ideal, but
Right.
that would be the ideal situation. I mean, from that standpoint,
Right.
we'd be able to make a sledding hill. We can make a
I made one once. I'm sure you remember. Yeah.
And maybe someone already asked this, we're talking like 10 years or 5 to 10, 10 to 20?
construction.
I mean, yeah, before reasonably it would be done.
So I would say hypothetically, the town receives a favorable grant package. We would find out, I would hope, in a month or two, we could find out if the town wanted to proceed. I think you'd be looking at maybe 2027 for construction, 2020, be done by maybe 28.
We've applied for the grant already. We're just waiting to hear right now. We've applied for 2 grants, so we're waiting to hear on.
Yeah, like I said, typically the announcements were like in December, kind of when the deadline for the applications was July, but because it's September, I don't know if they're gonna, move it down a little bit. They kind of coincide with other political announcements. And maybe around first of the year, it's tough to say, but everybody's asking.
Okay. Questions? Keep them coming. This is good.
Pretty much want to stick with Pine Hill Road.
Not necessarily. I mean, again,
But on the west side,
it could be on Pine Hill Road, it could be on Eagle Harbor Road, if there's, property, in the Greater Road area, so there is some flexibility.
It's the elevation primarily that we're looking.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot that you wanna be with the elevation, just so we don't have a ridiculous tall tank, but like moving forward, if we decide to move forward, I would negotiate with several property owners and just see, just kind of weigh them all. It's kind of what I've done in the past, is maybe narrow down to a couple and a couple of property owners. But again, we do have leeway, and that's what we want. We don't wanna have to say it has to go here. That's a-
I'll mention the White Elephant, the Pine Hill Airport in that area too.
Yeah, so. I've never had one this close, if it is in Pine Hill, close to an airport, but, I know they would probably have to have an FAA light on it. They have to stop with it a different color or something like that, being that close. But, yeah, there are water tanks within close distance to many airports, so I think there would just be certain regulations we'd have to follow. Maybe not in line with the runway, might avoid that, but if it's at Pine Hill one or the other. Probably. Good spot.
Gives the skydivers a target to land on.
If I can land on that.
I know, but you found them,
And everywhere else up there.
including our pasture, twice this year.
Any other questions then? Then do I hear a motion to close this public hearing on the water tower, the new water tower?
I'll make the motion.
Dave makes the motion, George makes the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.